love stepping out on them floors. B, I feel like one of them ball player guys. I feel like Magic or Bird or something like that.
Right. Look, the biggest podcast where you can learn them lessons. Line for line where you can learn from different sections. Made it out the mud, come tell your story, blessings. Never know who listening, never know who stressing. Devon gave you a voice, come speak your honest truth. Line for line, go bar for bar, it's up to you. Wanna talk sports, gov, and politics? Wanna talk about where you from and your accomplishments? The Line for Line is really where you need to be. A platform that's really made for folks like you and me. You can find it all no matter what you seek. Whether you calling or you listening, tune in every week.
All right. Just like that, we're back in another very special episode of Line for Line podcast. I'm your host with the most, Devon Booker. We have our co-host in the building today. Who we got?
Kevin Simpson.
And we're interviewing my fellow cousin. No, I'm just saying, we got the same last name.
No, all Bookers are cousins, man. Every Booker in Racine is my cousin. You can take that to the bank. I promise you that.
We got Mr. Jesse Booker in the building.
Hello.
Jesse, how you feeling?
Amazing.
Good.
Honored to be here, so thank you for the invite.
Of course. Just tell us a little bit how you feeling on this Saturday, sir.
Beautiful. Yes, 100%. I went for a walk with my wife this morning, right? Got some fresh air. It's wonderful outside. Had some egg whites and some veggies.
Let's go.
I'm trying to lose some weight.
Let's go.
Hopped in the car. I had to look at like several gas stations to find. Go ahead and plug your favorite energy drink.
Yeah, we got Zoa in the building today. Shout out Dwayne Johnson.
So I had never heard of Zoa, right? So I looked up like what gas station sells Zoa. And I stopped at one they didn't have it. I stopped at the one down the street on Sheridan. They had 6 different flavors. And so I had to bless my man with.
I appreciate you for sure.
I didn't want to get you green apple and you really like strawberry. So there you go. You get to pick whichever one you want.
I appreciate you. Kev, how you feeling today, young man?
I'm good, man.
Yes,
Saturday. Sir. I'm off work. I'm just out here enjoying this podcast with this wonderful young man right here.
Yes, sir. We got you back as a co-host, man. We greatly appreciate you having some time.
My pleasure.
Can you just tell the world at home just a little bit about your interactions with this young man? Because I know you told me, you're like, oh, I know him.
Yeah, we both grew up in Racine, Wisconsin, as everybody knows. We kind of grew up. A lot of people don't know, but Mr. Booker here was maybe a lot of people do know, but maybe the younger crowd don't. But he was a hip hop artist growing up. So,
many moons ago.
He said many moons ago, like he's old.
Myself, I was a hip hop artist too. You know, I've been known to spit a 16 here and there.
You can actually catch them in the comments of the 16-bar challenge.
Hey, we finna get that acapella at the end. We got an acapella for you guys at the end of this too. We all gonna spit something. I'm gonna start it off. Yes, sir. But Jesse, oh my bad, we got some more.
Oh no, we're good.
Okay,
we're good.
When we start Line for Line podcast, we like to do the most cliche thing ever. We let the guests tell the world just a little bit about them, who it is that they are, where they're from, and what brings them to Line for Line podcast. The floor is now yours, sir.
Awesome. So Jesse Booker, I'm a father first. I'm a husband, proud father of 4 children. We have a blended family. My oldest is 19. That's Riley. Then I have Rocco, who's a senior. I have Reese, who's a sophomore, and Nico, who's a freshman. Live in Racine, Wisconsin. Lived there most of my life. I was born in Florida. I have the social security number to prove that, by the way. But yes, I lived in Racine, out by Case High School. Moved around, moved to Minneapolis. I was in the Army Reserve. I was deployed. I lived in Oshkosh. Yep. And so back in Racine, happy to be here and happy to be on the podcast. I appreciate the invite.
Of course. Now, as we get ready to get started, a lot of people want to know, when people hear your voice at the game, what is it that you want them to hear exactly?
Oh, excitement, right? So anywhere I'm at. So on this podcast, right, if you catch me at the grocery store, actually at the gas station where I got those, some young man rolled out his window. He was like, Jesse! I turned around, I'm like, hey, just left Frank's Diner, right? And so, no, but like when I'm in an environment where, first of all, it's got to be positive, right? Like if I'm anywhere, if I'm choosing to spend my time anywhere, trying to bring the right energy, trying to capture positive moments, right? I'm an individual who believes in abundance and just, if you hear me at an event, hopefully it's for a good reason, right? And I have chosen to be there for a reason. And if it's announcing, for example, I'm there to bring the energy, whether it's for the 12th man on the basketball team, home or away, right? I understand what it's like. Again, I have 4 children. To have somebody on the football field, on the basketball court, and whether it be they're down 30 or they're up 30, if I'm announcing, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, right? I'm trying to just make it fun for everybody.
Of course. Forewarning, if you see me do this to him, that's me asking the Instagram real-worthy question, so he's going to, that lets him know when to start recording for the Instagram as well, too. But go ahead if you want to ask one of your questions first.
Okay, so as you stated, you grew up here in Racine, Wisconsin. What was your family dynamic growing up here in Racine? Like, you have any siblings? You come from a 2-parent home. Just kind of touch on that. And what was that like?
Yeah, no, I'm an only child.
Oh wow!
I think so. Some people are like,
so you got spoiled.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you got spoiled. Man.
No, I was not spoiled, thankfully, right?
Yeah.
So I had a father who was an over-the-road truck driver. My mom, she worked at Modine for many years. She retired from there. At one point, my parents split. So my father had full-time custody of me from 5th grade on. My senior year, I moved back in with my mom to get ready for college. But yeah, so like I was like a latchkey kid, right? So when my father raised me as an over-the-road truck driver, he was never home, right? So like he made sure that the cabinets were stocked and the fridge was stocked, but I was usually eating dinner at a friend's house. Everybody's mom and dad was mom and dad to me. Right. I had a million friends in my neighborhood. I grew up right by Case High School. So basketball, football, baseball, riding bikes, bike tag. Like we were able to do anything and everything as a unit. And I was usually the oldest one. So I was like everybody's older brother. And so from there, like never smoked, never drank, did drugs or any of that stuff. And I'm like, this isn't me peacocking, but this is just me at that age trying to be an example for the younger kids in my neighborhood. I hung out with a lot of dudes who were younger than me, some 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But again, we were all just like a big family in the neighborhood over there. So it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
In what ways would you say you're working to better Racine outside of sports?
Just try to highlight the positive stuff going on in our community, man. In a world where negativity drives all the traffic and all the clicks, I try anywhere and everywhere that I'm at to capture something positive and focus on the positive. And that's in and outside of sports, right? That's anything that I'm involved in. Being here is super positive, right? Communicating and talking about positive things going on. You do the exact same thing. You're bringing individuals in here and highlighting positive individuals doing positive things. You've had endless coaches, players talking about how important grades are, right? Like seeing these individuals who were in high school who are now in college and graduating college. You are doing your best to shine a light on the positive happening in your community. Same thing for me. And I try to surround myself with individuals who have the same mentality.
Of course, of course. Now, this question is going to be for the both of you, too. With you guys both being from Racine, I kind of feel like I'm outnumbered because I'm Kenosha. But no, as you guys both know, there's always been like that kind of who's better, like when it comes to Racine and Kenosha. Oh, we're better than Racine. We're better than Kenosha. Where would you say the disconnect first starts, and how is it that we bridge the gap to become to join these two cities and have them merge and be better than what they have been towards each other?
Is it still like that today?
Kind of. I would kind of say like that. They'd be like, "Oh man, Racine don't like Kenosha," like, and I was like, I don't really be places where I'm like, man, I've never been in a room full of people like, "Oh yeah, we don't like Kenosha," or "We don't like Racine," but that's just always been the thing that I would hear through like the grapevine.
I honestly didn't even know that was a thing. We didn't know that we didn't like Kenosha.
Okay.
Honesty. But from a competitive, like sports competitive standpoint, at least for like my generation growing up, we wanted to beat everybody. We wanted to be the best. So it don't matter if you're from Kenosha. It don't even matter if you're from a different school within the city. We wanted to show that we're better. We're the best. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my standpoint.
Of course.
I don't know what your outlook is on that.
No, so from my perspective as an athlete, yes, your inner city rivalries are your biggest things, right? So Case, Park, Horlick, and all that good stuff, Prairie, St. Cat's, Lutheran. But from like a community perspective, I, now 44 years old, looking at just the growth of both communities, I am jealous of the growth that Kenosha has shown.
Oh, wow.
From the main street, right, Sheridan Road, all the way out to the interstate. I believe Kenosha did it the right way, and unfortunately, as you can see, the U-lines show up, the Amazons show up, right? You've made the proper moves as a community to grow exponentially, and I get that you benefit more from the Illinois individuals than we do in Racine, but it's something that I look at as I drive down Highway 20, as you could probably,
absolutely, right?
So when we leave Racine and we're going west, away from the lake, after Highway 31, it's nothing. It's farmland and car dealerships, right?
Yeah.
No, but in Kenosha, you have everything.
Yeah, they got Amazon. You guys got Harbo out there.
Yes.
As you mentioned, Uline.
Continuing to grow.
Microsoft coming out now.
Yes. And so that's in Sturtevant, right? That's not even Racine. It's like a crazy perspective, right? So I have a friend who lives in New Jersey, and many moons ago, I was like, hey, you should come out to Racine. He was like, y'all don't even got a movie theater.
What? Oh, that's Sturtevant.
No, but what's crazy, so we had two.
Yeah, we did.
And then Regency Mall lost theirs, and then Westgate. I was like, bro, we don't even have a movie.
There used to be a movie theater in the Regency Mall.
So yes, right there on the outskirts. Yeah, I worked at it actually.
What?
Yeah, some of the funnest times of my life.
Man, either I don't know if we super old or if you just super young. If you don't remember us having a movie theater,
They had Tinseltown. Why would he come to Regency? They had Tinseltown.
My only thing with Racine is you guys got names instead of numbers. So when I go out there, I'm like, I need GPS for everything. People are like, hey, I'm over here on Martin Luther King or whatever. I'm like, what the heck is that? I'm like, all right, let me get my GPS.
Yeah, to where if you're from Kenosha, 22nd and 63rd, OK Street or Avenue.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
Grid City in Kenosha.
Yeah, so that's my only thing with Racine. I'm like, man, I can't find nothing. I need GPS for everything. Whenever you got a question.
So anyone that follows you on social media pretty much knows that you're always posting local sports highlight reels when it comes to like football, basketball, track. What prompted you to want to pick up a camera and just basically start posting these reels and basically becoming like a hub or providing that content for everyone in the city to tap into like local sports and things of that nature. And one other thing before you answer that, not only do you post these beautiful videos, you don't post it. You're not going out buying. You don't have a $3,000 camera with all these different lenses and filters. I mean, you shooting straight from your Android. And shout out to Android because I'm an Android user myself. But what prompted you to want to start providing that content for everyone in the community?
So first of all, salute to the actual shooters, right? The Andrew Myers of the world, the Ryan Schultz, young high school kids who are investing thousands and thousands of dollars into their equipment, right? There's extreme value in that, right? And so I definitely respect the shooters. I do not consider myself a videographer, right? So like I look at myself and my page, so he laughs, right? But this is a legit photographer here, right? No, this is a man who has invested thousands of dollars into gear and puts out high quality content.
We make a great team. Shout out Kevin over there as well too.
No, for sure. And so I win because I'm first, right? Okay. I am right now. Right. So like if you're at a sporting event, like so dude gets to the bucket state game, left-handed finish, I have that immediately. Yes. A true videographer or photographer has to bring their equipment back to the hotel or to their home an hour and a half away. So that's why I'm winning, right? So I'm not only am I present and I'm connected to these kids, but the value in it is I have 4 children. So I used to be in the press box or at the scorer's table, right? Yes. And it's cool to announce my son scoring a touchdown. That moment is gone right now.
Right.
To be in the end zone, to see my son hit the A gap, dive into the end zone, boom, slow motion, touchdown, right? I got goosebumps right now. I didn't know my oldest son's last football game would be his sophomore year. That year I came out of the press box and I was on the sideline to capture all of his touchdowns. And I have that for the rest of eternity. Right. I understand the value in that, right? I have a son who plays basketball, who does high jump. I'm connected to these kids because of the age of my children. It's been a golden era for sports in Racine. For me to have highlights of Duty and Sam and Rocco and all these kids when they were in 6th and 7th and 8th grade, and I can recall these memories and have them at the tip of my fingers. When moms and dads are in the crowd, they're hiring you because, one, they either don't have the capability to capture high quality photos, or they're just so excited, right? Like when they try to record, they're screaming, right? Like I can be silent, be on the sideline, be on the court, be at the football game, be at the track, capture those memories for somebody to have for eternity, and there's great value in that. It's invaluable for me.
But you're definitely sitting on a winning perspective, like you said, because I tell people that too, like, you can get more reactions off being there in the live, in the moment, in the now, no matter if it's an Android, no matter if it's an iPhone, because you get to get the best shock value of it too. Yes. Because like you said, we may have to travel back home and put it together, which is still going to get good value as well too. But just having that moment of right there in the moment, that's the best possible outcome that you can have in the youth sports where kids want it now. Because you'll go to a game or you'll do a shoot for somebody 20 minutes later. Hey, you got that? You got that yet? Hey, you got that for me? So you're in the moment where you're winning now because, like you said, you get to post it right.
Listen, go ahead.
And I've been at games and I've seen you down there recording, and a touchdown could have just happened, or somebody could have just scored a big basket, and I could pick up my phone probably like 5 minutes later, and you got it posted.
Yes.
And I'm like,
they will scream at me. They will scream at me from the stands. Hey, Book, you got that? Hey, Jesse, I know you got that.
Yeah. And from a videographer, sorry.
Oh no,
did I cut you off? I thought I heard you.
No, no.
But from the stance of a videographer, sometimes it does get hard when you have access like that because if we're a media company, we can get it to you right then and there too, but that's going to require me to have my laptop, have my B person with me, my B person switching out SD cards to run to me and all that too. But how many people are going to want to spend $400 to $500 for us to be able to be there right then and there and get that to you in a timely manner the way you want it? You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are like, yeah, we do want to support people too, but at the end of the day, if we're doing this for our business, we want to be able to be paid and compensated as well too, because these cameras aren't cheap, these lenses aren't cheap, these microphones aren't cheap as well too.
And you passing that SD card is a raw file. Right? And so I will tell you, as a consumer, I'm excited to have that anyway, right? But the magic in what you do as a videographer, photographer is in post. Right? So while the photo you take from that camera right now with no editing is already going to be anything that I could ever put together on my phone. But the magic and the value in what you do is what you do when you get home.
Yes, sir.
And you spend the time, the hours, right? If you're at a dang sporting event and you take 1,000 photos and you're only cutting up 20, right? Me, I'm like, man, that's 980 photos. That's still, But that's your calling card. That's your brand. You don't you are so critical of the content that you put out because your name is on that.
Yes, sir.
There is such great value in that. Me, I'm just servicing the moms and dads and the athletes who just want it right now, and they don't care what the quality is, right? But I believe in abundance. Right? So I've sat on the sidelines. I connect with every photographer, every videographer. I've paid these kids for my son who might score 4 points. Right? I paid a lot of money during basketball season to have high quality images because I see the value in it. But for me, okay, I'm gonna let them take the pictures. Let me catch this one bucket that Reese got. Let me see, like in the pregame, he almost dunked that. I need that video, right? And so, no, I get it. Right?
Now, as we know, it takes a community, it takes a village to push these kids and help these kids reach new heights. What would you say sometimes athletes are missing when it comes to that extra set of hands or eyes, ears to help with that extra push?
That's a tough question to ask because honestly, every situation is different. Every athlete is different, right? Not only am I connected to these kids, but I'm connected to their parents. And a lot of that isn't shared, right? So the beauty in knowing these children since they were in middle school, elementary school, is I get to see them at their best at these sporting events. When they leave, I couldn't necessarily tell you. I will tell you that every mom or dad, grandma or grandpa or uncle has always been extremely appreciative of me as well as the athletes, right? But as far as what they're missing, I couldn't tell you, right? Like I couldn't sit here and tell you, oh, these kids need more structure. I don't necessarily subscribe to that because I'm not seeing these kids at their worst.
Of course.
When I'm seeing these children after they've graduated high school, for example, that put the guns down, it's still positive. Will I have loved for D. Long, for example, from Horlick to go to college? Absolutely. I love that kid with all my heart. Why he didn't go, I'm not sure. Every time I see him, always positive. Hugs from now a grown man who was just a basketball player when I was at Horlick, right? When I'm seeing these kids in their young 20s, raising babies now, I don't know. I can't necessarily provide the answer for how to break the generational curses or the problems that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. I do know that these coaches who sign up for these jobs have to love these kids because there ain't no way in the world they're out there for a paycheck. First and foremost, right? As far as teachers go, I've been in these classrooms, right? I've sat in my children's classes to observe. It's not an easy job, right? It's not easy to raise children. I have 4 that are teenagers now, right? So what are they missing? I'm not sure. But in regards to in their social circles, do they have people who care for them and love them? Without a doubt, man. And so, but there are people like yourself who also provide them an opportunity to come in here and speak to that. In my household, I try to focus on what I can control for my kids, right? In my relationship with my children and my wife as well.
Of course. Now, what would you say has been like your biggest influential reason as to why you continue to show up, give your time, your energy, everything that you have to the community?
I'm fighting every single day to highlight the positive stuff going on in our community because the noise and the negativity outweighs everything so quickly. The worst thing happening in Racine, so for example, a bar fight on Main Street, right? So kids get out, they run around in the streets. I hate that I'm even talking about this, but just trying to provide an example, right? Even if it only lasts 30 seconds, that clip gets hundreds of thousands of views. Everybody sharing it, everybody talking down about our city. See, this is why we can't have nothing. Shut that bar down. We need to get rid of this. This is why I don't want to live here. This is why I moved to Waterford. Like, I don't even entertain that stuff, man. And so, like, for me, if we continue to just share the positive and highlight the positive, I believe, and I think that my page can speak to that when I speak personally about my page, that a positive clip can do numbers. It can make a difference. It can be something that grows, and we continue to highlight it. And I refuse to use my page or my platform to highlight the negative in our community, even though I'm well aware.
Of course. Now, Kev, I want you to give me a little bit of feedback to what I'm about to say, because I've seen me and you are standing here. We're two different men, right? And I get what you're saying. I'm totally with what you're saying wholeheartedly, because like I said, I do the positive thing. I want to do everything that's right as well, too. But in a perfect world, especially with me being 33 years old and me being as urban as I am, highlighting he's just over there preaching, man. That ain't sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, where the violence, where the hoes at? I'm just being for it. Where the women at? Where the thick women at, man? That's lame. He over there talking again too. Like, in the world, it's sometimes it's hard, because like you get the people like, oh man, your podcast ain't this. You ain't the Adam 22 of the world. Like, first off, who said I wanted to be like that? I do this for the love of the community that I have well too. And with me being urban, people like, oh man, you get more views if you have those girls that was just fighting at the bar, bring them on the podcast. I was like, dog, I had 2 girls in this world, you know what I'm saying? All of the work that I do in the community now, it's going to come back to them tenfold.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And if I'm out here promoting poison to my community, my daughters aren't going to reap any rewards to that when they're out in the community. That's Devon Booker's daughter over there. Oh, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. You know what I'm saying? Now she got to go places to be uncomfortable versus me doing it the positive way, even though it may take longer, but I'm not in it for success, fame, money, or anything like that. I'm in this because this is what I love to do. I would be doing this for free if I wanted to. I started talking about comic books in my kitchen. Like, I would be doing this for free if I had no choice. And just yesterday, my 9-year-old calls me on FaceTime with like 6 of her friends. Dad, I keep trying to tell them you're a YouTuber and they don't believe me. I was like, I'm on YouTube. I don't know if that's a YouTuber. And then she was like, well, what's the name of it? I was like, oh, it's Line for Line Podcast. That girl, that is not your dad. We saw our teacher was on there, or oh, that's your dad. And I was like, stuff like that makes me feel like I'm winning. If I can have my girls out there reaping rewards like that, that's what matters to me the most. And I say, give me your thoughts on that too, because like you come from an urban background as well too. So let me know what you think about Kev.
I mean, that's exactly what I try to do. I try to walk it like I talk it. Like, I'm trying to, I try to provide a positive example for my children. In our household, they don't see me cussing their mom out. They don't see me coming home drunk. You know what I mean? So it's a saying that goes. A lot of it is it's caught better than it's, or more is. I don't know the saying, and I'm forgetting the saying.
do as I say, not as I do is the opposite way that you
but it's basically like they catch more by observing you than what you actually say.
Absolutely.
So I try to be a positive example in that manner, and it's I feel like it's effective. You know what I mean? I'm always getting compliments on how well behaved my children are, how respectful they are.
Yes.
And I think it's just because me and their mother are providing a positive example for how they should be in this world.
So you're not coming home and a wife beater, where my dinner at? Get my dinner.
None of that mess, none of that nonsense. They're not.
We alternate dinners at our house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For sure. So the wife takes care of it one night, I take care of it the next night.
Yes, sir. So I don't mind getting in that kitchen and cooking dinner for the family.
No, but to touch on what you said about your children, right? So the consistency is key, right? So you don't come on this podcast and act different than you do when somebody sees you at a sporting event or when you do at the dinner table, right? And so that is key. And so the beauty of what you have here is, if you think about the long game, man, if the internet sticks around, which it will, your children will have this for forever.
Exactly.
Your wife will have this for forever. You'll be able to look back on this and be proud of the conversations that you were having, and crazy that 20 years later, Dad, you still talk exactly the same. Your beard is just gray.
Exactly.
Dad, remember when you had short hair, you got dreads now, or vice versa. Dang, Dad, you used to be in the gym all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, there's extreme value in that.
Yes, sir. But like the people want to know, if you could speak to the entire city at once, young man, what would you say?
First, stop calling me young man. I think I'm the oldest guy at this table. No, so again, just use every single opportunity you have to highlight the positive in our community and ignore the noise, man. I mean, there's so many opportunities for us to just make a difference, right? Like-minded individuals working towards a common goal can accomplish quite a bit, right? And it's important that we continue to focus on the things we care about, pour ourselves into the people we love, and dedicate our time and energy into things that bring us fulfillment and happiness, right? And so that's another reason why I go to these basketball games and football games. It brings me joy. I don't get paid to be there. Right? Like, these are things that I love, and my wife continues to allow me to, and I use the term allow, but my wife sees that it brings me joy, so she has no problem with me going to a basketball game or a football game, right? And so, yes, so today, right, you have 2 children, you have a family, I have a family. Hey, Lisa, I've been invited to go on this podcast. Are you cool with that? Absolutely. Yep. Tell me more. Tell me why, right? And so, like, these things, so she took 2 of my boys, and they're going up to Mayfair, right? And so, like, if I was in here talking crazy, and if she were to catch wind of it, it would be a problem. But instead, the video you see today, if you were to watch an interview me 10 years ago, less gray in my beard, same exact dude though, maybe probably more weight as well. But no, it's important for you to be consistent and pour yourself into things that make and bring you joy, and that's your justification. You're not doing this to get 1 million. It would be nice to have 1 million views, but for now, you're playing the long game.
Of course.
Pouring yourself into things that matter.
And I'm glad you said that, because I remember, I'm pretty sure you guys may have heard of him if you don't know him, but Tony Moore from Kenosha. I remember telling him, sometimes God only gives you what you're ready for, you know what I'm saying? Because when I first got started, I was like, oh, I want the nice camera. I want the microphones and all that. Yeah, I can spend my money to get it, but just because I get it, but now I don't know how to use it because I haven't worked hard enough to get to that point where I can utilize what I have, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And am I ready for 1 million views right now? Because the follow-up has to be crazy with that, you know what I'm saying? And with me working and having kids as well, too, am I ready to just dedicate every single day, every living moment of my waking day to make sure I'm maintaining and building off of that 1 million views and doing what comes next with that, too, So it's like you got to think of stuff like that when it comes to what it is that you're getting. We all want that, you know what I'm saying? But are we ready for what comes with it? Because just like that, you can get the 1 million views, but then I'm like, damn, we ain't seen Line for Line in a week. Let's unsubscribe. So it's like, are you ready for everything that comes with it?
So Joe Budden actually read an incredible quote about what an industry label individual said to a room full of artists about the reason why people quit the music industry. And it was for that exact reason, that they can't survive in the climate when there's silence, right? In a world where everybody, like, if you were to do 1 million views on this, and your next video only did 1,000, the next one did 800, and the next one, like,
he fell off.
But you internally, the questions that you would start having for yourself, oh my God, what am I going to do? All right, and so it's interesting, man. Just the internal battle,
and that takes it back to what I was saying too. Is like this media stuff, like, attention is everything in today's world. And like, if I get the 1 million views, who's to say I'm going to know how to handle if the next video only does 200? You know what I'm saying? It's like, because then you got to start thinking social media is a drug to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm out here, oh damn, I got to do something crazy to get those eyes back. You know what I'm saying? I got to take my shirt off at the bar. I got to go, man, let me go try to start getting people who are fighting and all this negativity on there to try to keep those views up. But then it's like, now you're disabling everything that you've built and that you're working hard for just to try to get those eyes and those views. But when you do it genuinely and wholeheartedly, you enjoy doing it and you want to do it. But then now if I'm like, oh, I got to get a check off this, so now I got to do it, I got to make it work, and I got to think of it like that, is it really going to be longevity in it? And I don't think it will be.
No, you do this because you're passionate about it, because you care.
Yes, sir.
Right? That you're pouring yourself into something that you love, and that's the value.
Yes, sir.
If you were to eventually be able to quit your job because of this, that's amazing.
Of course.
But in the meantime, you're dedicating yourself to this because you give
Yes,
I don't know if we're able to swear on this or not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give a crap. No, I don't have like the worst potty mouth. I just don't want to think you're talking crazy.
Yeah. What you got, Kev? You got anything else?
So just circling back to like the sports talk. From my perspective, locally, I view you kind of like a Woj type, a Shams type. Like, if I want to know, like, if there's an event going on or if there's something big going on in the city related to sports, I know I'm going to Jesse Booker's Facebook page, and I want to tap into your page and kind of see, what's going on or what you have to say about that event. Do you see yourself, or do you perceive yourself in that garner, or just someone that everybody's gonna kind of tap into and just kind of see, like, what information you provide when it comes to these local sports activities?
I think the blessing of the relationships that I've built in our community is that individuals will feed me this information, right? So ADs will send me their ticket links, right? So they see the value in the exposure, right? They see the value in the eyes, right? So do I see myself as a Woj or a Shams? No, because I'm impartial, right? And so, like, I guess they are as well. But for me, through the course of the past 15 years, the relationships I built with by way of announcing first, right? So touching base in these schools, the principals know who I am. The ADs know who I am. The coaches, I get to meet them, and then the players, right? So Like, it's cool when I step into Kenosha, for example, if I'm at Bradford and they're like, oh man, you should be announcing our game, right? Like, that's cool to hear, right? And like connecting with the players, Mikey White, for example, right? Like knowing his mother and father, and they're from Kenosha. So there's a blessing in that. And there's also on my page, it's impartial. So I'm not afraid if I'm at Case, because my children go to Case, to post a clip of a Bradford kid doing something wild, right? And I think people see that. A lot of people see me as the Case guy, which is funny. Like Anton and I are like this, right? So that coaching staff, I've known them for a long time. And so sometimes there's like this weird rivalry thing to where like some people don't necessarily, but then when I post the clips of their team and they're like, oh, maybe he's not a jerk. And
Of course.
No, so it's the reason why my page has grown exponentially over the course of the past 3 years is simply because of the relationships. Relationships are so important, man. I will say it till the wheels fall off, right? There's nothing more important than actually being able to shake somebody's hand, look them in their face. They know that my intentions are pure. I'm here to highlight the school, right? The brand. And they know when I post something on my page that it's going to be a proper representation. So, for example, there was a JV game. I'm not going to say the teams. There was a fight after the game, before the varsity game. They had to clear the floor. People from both sides, administration, teachers, blah, 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 blah. Do you have that clip? Absolutely not. I do not. I don't record that. I'll never share that. No, you'll never catch that from me, man.
And I'm kind of like that as well, too, because I'm always at my daughter's games recording. A couple times, a couple fights broke out. Never seen the light of day.
Right.
It's just nobody. That's nobody's business. These are two people's children out here.
Yep.
Nobody needs to see that.
And it's all fun until someone gets hurt or guns go off and all that. Then you're like, damn, I was out here recording that this whole time.
Right.
XYZ.
And so the beauty of where you're at mentally, though, and you as well, is you realize that clip could have done more numbers than anything you ever posted in your career. Sure. But is it really worth it?
Not at all.
I've seen some of the worst injuries in 7-on-7, for example. And I did catch a video, right? And I went to the hospital where the young man was taken, and I went to visit him to make sure he was okay, and Mom wasn't there when it happened. I showed her the video on my phone so she could see this is what happened. As soon as she saw it, I deleted it off my phone, and I said, nobody else will ever see this, right? But like, you truly care, man. And that's like, that's the difference, right? But like people can feel that. And then people can see that. It all sounds good. I really want to be here because I care about your school. All right, that sounds great. Show me that, right? And then through consistency, through years and years of showing up, you build your brand, you build your relationships. And this is why, right, when I'm at a Park versus Horlick game where I don't have a horse in the race, people are like, oh, did you get that? Oh, hey, let me, right? So like, it's cool, man, because our community's small, and including Kenosha, though.
Yeah,
I know all the coaches on all the Kenosha teams, man. I know the West Osha Central staffs. I'm starting to learn the Milwaukee staffs, right? And so like, I was actually, so I'm sorry, this is like a sidebar, but an example of impact, right? And being impartial, I was the announcer for Horlick High School. They were playing Milwaukee Academy of Science. Have you ever heard the name Shamira Williams? Okay, so Shamira busted their ass for 55 points. And I'm going crazy. Shamira Williams for 3, right? Horlick fans hated me for 2 weeks. Shamira, after the game, said, I need you for senior night on Friday. They brought me up to Milwaukee Academy of Science. They told their PA guy, move aside. This dude, I don't know who he is, this bald guy right here, he's doing senior night. And their gym is so small, bro, smaller than Lutheran's gym. You can only sit on one side, and we had that mug rocking. Right? Just cool, by way of just me being impartial instead of just Shamira Williams for 3.
Yeah,
exactly.
Shamira Williams with the layup. Nah, bro. Like when I'm announcing, we're about to have a blast, man.
Yes,
and I made halftime a whole thing, and so it's all about having fun, man.
Yes, sir. Have you ever seen the movie Paid in Full?
Yes.
All right, so that's the next thing too, because like when we were talking about, you enjoy being out in the community and you love it and you be there for free, whatever the case may be. But I love stepping out on them floors. I feel like one of them ball player guys. I feel like Magic or Bird or something like that. No, for real. That just makes you feel so good though when you go out places and they notice you just from the hard work, and that takes it back to, oh, this dude from Life Line Podcast always posting them fights and always in somebody's business and meddling with all that, but it's all love when you go to these places and all that. It's crazy because these high school kids, they know you from a can of paint. You don't know who you are. I'm walking in these gyms saying, Line for Line, we love you.
Let's go.
Oh, let's go. I was like, it be the stuff like that that makes me really find joy in what it is that I'm doing.
Without a doubt.
Yes, sir.
As a lot of people know, you also have an organization. It's called, and I don't know if it's a nonprofit organization but it's called Santa Does Exist.
Yes.
And basically, every year during the holiday season, you're giving out, I think you raise money from businesses and just people in the community, and you provide, I think, gift cards for families in the community just to kind of cheer up their holidays and just kind of assist them with with providing for their family during the holiday season. Can you tell us about just kind of how that got started and just kind of shed some light on Santa Does Exist?
So first and foremost, yes, it's not me, it's we. Right. And so as a community in Racine, several businesses, several individual donors, over the course of the past 10 years, we've raised $100,000 for families in need.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 100% of the donations have gone back into our community. So by way of GoFundMe and then partnerships through different businesses, I've partnered with Eagle Football Booster Club. So that's how this is a nonprofit, right? We've been able to raise these funds to essentially give $250 gift cards to families in need in our community. So the first year we only raised $750. So for us to be now at $100,000 total is pretty incredible, right? This is by way of individuals who were selected previously who are now donors. Like one of the coolest success stories is a woman who I picked one of the first years, now works at a business in Sturtevant. That business donated $2,500.
Wow.
So they took care of 10 families by way of the relationship, right? So because I helped this woman, right, we planted that seed and look what grew from that, right? Toyota of Racine, also $2,500. By way of a conversation of a woman who heard about Santa Does Exist, she introduced me to the gentleman who runs Toyota Racine and Racine. I told him about it and he was moved $2,500. 10 more families, right? No, it's incredible. And so this is something that I never ask, are you donating to Santa Does Exist this year? I put it out there to the world, and thankfully, over the course of the past 10 years, at first it just sounded good. Now they have seen the progress and the impact that we're making, right? So yes, we've been able to help several families over the course of a decade. It started because I remember when I first got divorced, I didn't have any money to put trees underneath my Christmas tree. It was tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. And I put myself in the basically seat of an individual who was struggling, and how can we make a difference? And so while $250 isn't $1 million, it's not $1,000, it still shows somebody that you care. And then to hear, because this is what happens every year, well, why did I get that? Well, somebody cares about you. Well, who? Okay, well, let me tell you. Let me explain this to you, because most of the time people they think it's like it's not real. Wait, why am I getting this? Right? And so it's become a whole ordeal at Target and Racine. They've been incredible partners. We've had Liamani Segura there. I don't know if you know who that is. Young lady who is now on Disney, right? She's got a record deal through Def Jam.
Okay.
Young lady from Racine who has grown into this amazing star was a part of this with us, right? And so I'm forever grateful to anybody who's ever donated, helped spread the word for Santa Does Exist. But yes, it's something I'll continue to do until I'm dead and gone, and hopefully my children will take over. But what is it, right? You're welcome to reach out. I can share with you any of the links of any of the campaigns. But what it is it's the community coming together to make a difference in the holidays for families in need. We don't have any requirements. If Kevin were to be selected, he could pick any family. I don't say, no, they need to meet these criteria. No. Kevin, you were selected. Give this $250 gift card to whoever you'd like. But yeah, no, I appreciate you asking, and yeah, something I'm extremely proud about.
Yeah, I think that's important. That people get to know the origins of that, and just kind of. And I'm glad you were able to shed light on.
Thank you.
That.
But as we get ready to close out this phenomenal episode, Kevin and Jesse, what will be that lasting piece of advice that you want people to hear when it comes to the name Jesse Booker?
I don't necessarily have a piece of advice, man. I just appreciate the support, right? From the players, moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, family members and friends, to the administration, right? So through relationships I built, I was able to be on the floor at State for a basketball game as a impartial contributor by way of relationships. There is nothing more important than building relationships inside and around your community, pouring yourself into things you love, connecting with people who share the same thought process and same motivation and drive to just make an impact, and connect with everybody you can that shares that same thought process, and the impact you can make is exponential.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first on Line for Line Podcast. I'm your host for most, Devon Booker.
Kevin Simpson.
And that was Mr. Jesse Booker in the building today. Jesse, we appreciate you having some time for us.
Thank you.
You calling or you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.